Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon, not here with Geeky Sparkles in this video, but I guess we're going to give you a daily dose of dismal Disney. We're going to give you a dose of Disney reality. And the reality is Disney likes to take credit for things they did not create in recent years. There's this definite trend of Disney taking credit for the careers of people that were not actually with the Walt Disney Company. When their careers were at their height, right? We'll talk about this. I want to talk about this, and specifically when it comes to Disney legends. Now, I'm not saying that these people should not be recognized for their amazing contribution to the entertainment industry. What I'm saying is that their amazing contribution to the entertainment industry often predated Disney's acquisition of their company. And Disney just wants to pat itself on the back, I think, in a lot of ways, and say that, hey, yeah, we're going to take credit for Steve Ditko. We're going to make him a Disney legend, even though, there's a whole history there with Marvel and with Spider-Man. And, Disney just happened to buy Spider-Man. They've done this with people that were associated with Pixar, people associated with Lucasfilm, the Jim Henson Company, including Jim Henson. So they keep doing this. Now the latest is Bob Iger gets an award for screwing up the company. Now, Bob Iger gets an award, and he probably is giving himself the award. He gets a 50-year service award. Truly the ride of a lifetime. The thing is that they're counting his time at ABC. Disney didn't buy ABC until the mid-90s. Now, Disney has had a close working relationship with ABC, but it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird that they are giving Bob Iger an award for all this time at Disney when he was not with Disney for 50 years. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. This is coming from Variety. Bob Iger receives a Disney 50-year service award, truly the ride of a lifetime, according to Bob Iger. Disney CEO Bob Iger has been honored with the company's 50-year service award. The award features bronze statuettes of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs from the 1937 animated film, by the way, not the new one that is getting released, unfortunately, on his watch, recognizing 50 magical years with the company. Although Iger has technically worked for Disney only since '95, the award recognizes his start at ABC in 1974 as a production assistant. So isn't that bullshit? I mean, seriously though, that is a lie. Disney, you're lying. You're lying. Like, yes, you bought ABC, but Bob Iger did not technically start working for the Walt Disney Company until 1995. I mean, Disney has always had a close relationship with ABC because ABC ran the original Disneyland show, right? But that does not mean that he's been working for Disney. Iger shared an image of the Disney Service Award on Instagram on Monday, writing, "I started my career at ABC 50 years ago, and the business has certainly changed a lot since then, but at the end of the day, success still hinges on one thing: great storytelling. I'm proud to work alongside so many talented colleagues who create exceptional stories and experiences for the world to enjoy. The ride of a lifetime." Well, it's not Tiana's Bayou Adventure, because that one keeps breaking down, Bob. They're bringing it up in Variety, too. So Iger's official Disney position began in 1996 when he served as the chairman of the Disney-owned ABC Group. In 1999, he was promoted to president of Walt Disney International, and he later served as Disney's president and COO from 2000 to 2005. And then he wound up as the CEO of Disney from 2005 to 2020. He had left, he threw Chapek under the bus, and then he came back. So, yeah, they're even calling it out. This is weird. They're calling it out because they're like, he actually didn't have an uninterrupted run at Disney, and he technically didn't start working for Disney until 1996. So, Bob, if it were me, I would say, well, I technically didn't work for Disney. Thank you for thinking of me, but I technically didn't work for Disney for 50 years straight. I don't deserve the 50-year award. There are other people that have worked for the Walt Disney Company for 50 years. Well, hopefully there are still some people at Disney that have worked there for 50 years, because Disney has a habit of pushing older people out, especially people that remember working with Walt Disney or working with Roy Disney. They tend to push those people out. But this is a tendency that Disney has to especially Bob Iger's Disney. You talk about that meme where they're talking about like, hey, do you like this thing? Oh, yeah, I love this thing. Yeah, I created it. Oh, okay. Pushing the person out, whatever. Oh, I created this thing. That is Bob Iger. That is the current Disney regime. They didn't create most of what they're known for now, which is really sad, because Disney used to be the most creative company, or one of the most creative companies on the planet. But most of the stuff they did not create. They bought Marvel, they bought Pixar, they bought Lucasfilm, they bought the Muppets. They didn't buy all of Henson. Now Henson's selling their studio too, which is sad. But they didn't buy all of Henson. They just bought the Muppets, and they kind of ran them into the ground too. But like, they keep taking credit for things they didn't create, and it's such an easily disprovable thing. But I want to talk about the Disney Legends, because this actually irritates me. And again, this is a knock against anyone who had a massive impact on the entertainment industry. But this is, again, Disney trying to claim celebrities as their own, even if they just came along with the acquisitions, right? And they would be Bob Iger's acquisitions. So, if he's taking credit for other people's stuff, he's going to pad his own resume. This is a list of Disney legends on Wikipedia. And you go down the list, and it's all Disney people until you start getting into the Bob Iger era, right? These are all people that worked with Disney, and you can tell, like, even if this person didn't do a lot with Disney, they might have had a notable role, or we had people that were working behind the scenes that were recognized, and I think that's great. But then we start getting into a place of weirdness. Now, Barbara Walters makes sense. She's a legend. She was on ABC when Disney owned ABC, and she was on The View. And of course, we got the voice of, two of the voice actors, probably the most well-known for our generation, of Mickey and Minnie, Rusty Taylor, Wayne Allwine, R.I.P. to both of them. Tony Anselmo did Donald Duck. Bill Farmer did Goofy. That makes sense, right? That makes sense. Robin Williams, a lot of Disney projects, makes sense, right? Then we start getting into the weird era, the acquisition era. Jim Henson. Well, Jim Henson had cold feet about selling the Muppets to Disney, as I recall. But we're going to claim Jim Henson because we own the Muppets now. And you start going down the list. Steve Jobs. Okay. All right. Let's go down the list here. Johnny Depp, Disney legend. Well, that makes sense for Pirates, but I'm surprised they didn't take it from him. We get into Carrie Fisher. Okay. So again, I think she deserves recognition, and she did technically work on the Disney version of Star Wars, but like, they bought Lucasfilm. But then we have Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. What? And then we had Steve Ditko. What? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It really doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Who they're claiming, why they're claiming them. You just got to kind of look at it. Here we have, again, you go down the list. These people have some association with Disney. But yeah, it does, Frank Oz, he had problems with Disney. Frank Oz, yeah. I mean, it makes sense to recognize him. But again, his contribution to Disney has been through the Muppets and through Lucasfilm. And he doesn't think very highly of Disney current year. He's made some comments. He does not think very highly of Disney, but we have to pretend that, everything is copacetic here. And yeah, here we have, and I remember this, Muppet performer Steve Whitmire alleged the company offered him a consolation prize, including being a Disney legend, in return for keeping quiet about the details surrounding his termination and or resignation, depending on who tells the story. Steve Whitmire was the voice of Kermit the Frog post Jim Henson. And he's been a very vocal critic of Disney. He said he didn't like Disney because Disney doesn't view the Muppet performers as individuals. They just view them as voice actors that are easily replaceable. And he got ousted from Kermit the Frog. And this is a guy, again, who had a connection to Jim Henson. And he's saying Jim Henson wouldn't like the direction that Disney has taken the Muppets in. And so it's just weird. It's weird to see them just retcon Bob Iger's history. He probably gave himself the award. Again, when we have the CEO of the company fudging the facts of his tenure at Disney, this guy really does think he's above it, doesn't he? Right? Speaking of Disney and the CEO and its value being lessened over the last few years, Disney stock has dropped again today, $97.11. Ride of a lifetime, Bob. Ride of a lifetime. So I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.